Yes, welcome back to yet another episode of Bezos Chibozi. First of all, I want to give a shout out to all my listeners that have been in from episode 1 to this current episode. Yeah, thank you very much. Big ups to you guys. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for listening in, week out, and also giving me the feedback that I need and for everything that concerns this podcast. For those guys that have been there, thank you very much. Now, I want to begin this episode. It's an episode that lies very deep in my heart, and it is something that I've also personally faced and lost out. There's someone that told me, or maybe you will also have heard it, maybe, I don't know. But someone said that you rise to the level of your dreams, but you will only fall to the level of your preparation. Yes, we all dream very big and we put in the work, but we all fall to the level of our preparation. The whole key thing of life is how prepared are you when the opportunity comes. And that's what I want to talk about in this episode. I want to open that idea to us of preparation, that idea of grit, that idea of when the opportunity finds you, it finds you 2 steps ahead of it. It finds you in the most comfortable zone that it can ever come. Today, I want to give us a wake-up call. Personally, it's a wake-up call for me because remember, these episodes are for me to learn and also for you to learn. And why I would say this is a personal wake-up call, because some part of my year of 2025 feels like stagnation. It's something that I'm praying about, but it's also something that I'm trying to restructure and see how best I achieve the things I set out to achieve at the start of the year. I have personally lost out on very many things. Some things I may not even be able to talk about them. But it's not because they weren't for me. It was because I was not ready. Now, there's a role I always talk about, and that role opened my eyes. Back in university, there is a role that I has to get as a social media manager. I normally tell this story to very many people close to me whenever I'm talking about personal brands. And the idea was I has to be a social media manager for this. It was an established good company. They were going to pay me a good sum of money for something that I actually didn't have a degree in. But because I had a little bit of experience here in graphics, here in looking at social media channels and things like that, making a few strategies here and there. And what happens when this opportunity lies before me? I fumbled it. Now, how did I fumble it? I went in for the interview and everything was okay. But the only problem was I didn't single out what this organization's best social media channel was. And their best social media channel was LinkedIn. I happened to have not had a LinkedIn at that time. So everything goes well. I'm hitting all the points in the interview. And then the gentleman asks, "Oh yeah, this is very good. Everything is going well. Do you have a LinkedIn account?" At the time, I actually just knew LinkedIn from the logo basis, being a wordmark logo that looked very good in blue and all that. I didn't really know what really LinkedIn was about. Maybe the other thing I knew was LinkedIn was another platform to look for jobs, things like that. So the guy asked me, "Do you have a LinkedIn?" And I started to mumble. I started to look very, very unprepared because there was a single detail that I failed to get. I failed to be prepared for that specific moment. And that's how I lost that opportunity. The main thing was to manage a LinkedIn platform for them, their account, and that's how I lost the whole thing. I was not prepared. Maybe I would have gone to that interview. I'd set up my LinkedIn. I could have gone when I've learned a few things about LinkedIn. But when they asked me about LinkedIn, all I knew was it's a job portal, which right now I don't. And later, after losing that opportunity, that's when I start to be very active on building my personal brand, building my LinkedIn. Which poses a question: have you followed me on LinkedIn? But anyway, that's not the reason as to why this whole thing is. I gave that story so that you'll understand how I fumbled that role. I wasn't prepared. You could also fumble love. Personally, I've fumbled love very many times. Very many people. Okay, not very many people. A few ladies or girls or women have loved me, but because I couldn't handle the love, because I had my internal inabilities, internal demons, I've found that I dropped them off. It was because I couldn't handle the love that they were giving me. Most of these were genuine people. Maybe some were not, but most of them were genuine. But I lost out because I couldn't handle. And that's why I'm telling you that the preparation matters for everything. Because I have a dream of the kind of woman I want, but I will fall to the level of preparation that I have made on myself in that matter. The kind of woman that I will get at the end of the day will be to the level of how prepared I was for getting a woman into my life. Yeah. There were also doors that I couldn't open because I felt so small, because I didn't feel that I was prepared enough. Yeah, there are very many job opportunities that come around and we don't apply because we feel we are not prepared enough. But you see, regret has a small voice and it always whispers in your ear that you could have made it. You always hear it, man, you could have made it. And it always comes because later you see someone that has half of your potential take up the opportunity that was meant for you. And that happens because that person, at the point when the opportunity came, they were more prepared than you were. They were more prepared than you were. You see, people have to say what was meant for you will never pass by you. But for me personally, I come from a school of thought that tends to make that not be true entirely. Because you see, life does not give you opportunities. It doesn't give you opportunities if you're not hardworking or you're not prepared. Okay, yes, life brings opportunities, but not guarantees. Because when you say what is meant for you will not pass by you, that is a guarantee that even though you don't work hard for it, it will still come for you. Personally, I think you have to be ready. And readiness is not an event, it's a lifestyle. You need to have really actually grown into it. Taking you back to the other example of the LinkedIn opportunity that I fumbled. If it was an event, yes, I would have entered the office. I have my LinkedIn already set up, things like that. They would still ask me how LinkedIn algorithms work. All that works. And because I set up the account a day before, I had not made it a lifestyle, I had made it an event, I wouldn't have been ready. That's how I would still miss the opportunity. Yeah, so how do we miss opportunities? This is something that I need to also touch base on. You see, we miss opportunities because of a various number of things. The first thing is procrastination. Most of us know what procrastination is, but we don't know the magnitude of opportunities it has killed in our lives. Personally, whenever I see the submission date of an application or the submission date of a job or the interview date, my mind procrastinates straight away. But something I learned of recent is called signal. The signal to noise ratio. You see, when something important comes in your life, it becomes signal. The rest of the things that may barrier you from achieving that goal is noise. I think right now, if you see the date of submission, everything should link to that date. That's the best way you beat procrastination. Every minute minute, every minute thing you do should focus to achieving the goal of submitting earlier than the date of submission. There's also the fear to fail. The fear to fail is the biggest thing that kills all the opportunities that we have in life. You look at something and you look through its entirety and you're like, I'm going to fail anyway. Why should I even try? And you miss the opportunity. You find people going and they tend to get results, but for you, because you thought you would fail, you lose out. Then there is a lack of discipline. This is something that I've recently also learned, and maybe in the future I'll do a podcast episode about it. But the lack of discipline, even to yourself. If you don't have discipline is the idea of you doing something even when other people are not seeing. It's more like integrity. If you don't have personal integrity, you will never have integrity for other things. If you don't have personal discipline, you will never have discipline on any other frontier of your life. If you say to yourself that you need to do this, discipline is you doing it. And discipline is you seeing that you're consistent in doing it, even when no one is seeing. Because those small things you do for yourself, they matter a lot in building the confidence of beating what other people will see. The other problem I've also seen is overthinking. Now, this year alone, I've made sure that I don't overthink things, because overthinking delays decision making. Overthinking creates a fear of failure. Personally, if I see something can work out, I make a few calculations and I hit it. Because instinct is something that you need to use a lot. Most times the gut is never wrong. Personally, I ride a bike, a motorcycle, and the biggest thing I follow while on the road is instinct. There is a time when you say, I want to take this route, and I'm going to take this other route. And sometimes in your mind, it tells you, no, don't take that route. There could be an issue that side. very many times when I don't follow what that is, I find an issue there. Maybe police guys, maybe jam, maybe potholes, the road is very bad. Maybe, I don't know, you always find an issue there. Maybe you go there and you're in an accident. Okay, these small things, a scratch here, you're falling down. Overthinking. You need to trust your gut. At some point, you need to trust your gut, because something about your gut is right. I don't know how to explain it, but something about your gut is right. So what is the trick about all this that I've been talking about? Yeah, you need to get ready in bits. Personally, that's the only trick I can give. You need to get ready in bits, because you can't blow up overnight. Because no one has made it in one night. And even though we see them, we say this is a one-hit wonder, there was steps to that. You need to build onto your dream. Every 15 minutes in 1 year would be very, very many minutes. I'm not very good at math, but 15 minutes every day for 1 year would be very, very many minutes. You need to learn that skill every day. You need to fix your mindset. Do something every day that keeps you sober. Because life does not pause. Life keeps moving. It presents itself. And the only reality is we do not have control over that. We only have control of how quick or how fast we can live through that life that is moving every day. So every opportunity you have dreamed about already exists. It is not waiting for you to want it. It is waiting for you to be ready for it. So just grind. Keep in the hustle. Keep in those late nights. Keep in those tiny habits. Because you see, all that one day will be a good story when the call is made, when the opportunity knocks. Personally, I've got something that I've always branded on every life circumstance that happens to me now. And I picked this from a gentleman called Dan Martel. That is happening to me right now, this is going to be a very good part of my story. The future. It's going to be a very funny bit of my story. I think I got it from Gary Vee. So pick an area in your life today. Ask yourself, what could ready look like? And then you start working towards that. Yes, that is it for this episode. I had a few barking dogs in my background. I was trying to fight them. But that is it for this episode. If you love this episode, please share it with your friends. Guys, this podcast is going to be a big thing one day, and I want you to be a part of it. So please share that link. Share it to everyone that needs to hear it. Thank you for listening. See you next week. Goodbye.